When looking for a place to visit in China for the Christmas break, the Yunnan province was an easy choice. It had so many diverse geological features, like mountains, rivers, lakes, and gorges. It has rich cultures because it has so many ethnic groups. So the Crafts and the Pratts hopped on a plane from LA and flew to Kunming. Kunming is our first stop because of its central location and its international airport. Then we went south to Yuanyang to see the Li ethnic group's terraced rice fields. Then we turned north for Shangri-La, while stopping at Dali, the cultural capital of Yunnan, and Lijiang, the gateway to Tibet. We saw so much on this trip that it is beyond the scope of this video, so I will only highlight one day in each city to tantalize our viewers. On our first stop, Kunming, we went to two gorgeous places in one day: the Stone Forest and the Giant Cave. In there, we were surrounded by massive holes in the ground and huge pillars of stone hanging around us. Thousands of pounds of rock stood precariously above us in magnificent towers. These photos don't even capture half of the fascinating sceneries that surrounded us. In the second stop, the Zhuizhang Cave, we were equally awed. We thought we had seen caves in the US. A cave is a cave, we said, but we were wrong. To get to the cave, we first walked along a train track, then on a gondola. We took two different boat rides with a short walk below a waterfall. After boating through a narrow gorge, we finally arrived at an impressively huge entrance to the cave, where the river disappears underground. We first didn't understand the vastness of the cave system and thought we had saw everything already. But there would be inconspicuous narrow passageways that would open up into ginormous rooms full of million-year-old stalagmites and stalactites. There was waterfalls deep in the belly of the mountain, and calcium-rich, slow-trickling water formed pools that were so perfect they almost seemed man-made. The crown jewel of the quaint mountain town Yuanyang is the rice terrace that has been cultivated by local people for almost 1,000 years. Driving to the place took hours on the windy, narrow roads, and one does not get a good viewpoint from the road. A hotel clerk gave us a recommendation of the best viewing spot, and when we approached the deck, our breath was taken away. In December, the rice has been long harvested, and the fields have been flooded for additional nutrients back to the soil. Various algae floats on top of the water, giving the pools vibrant colors. Adding a sunset reflecting off the water, wispy clouds in the blue sky, and surrounding mountains making the field secluded, I feel that I have arrived at a hidden utopia. The hotel we stayed at is right next to the one and only Blue Terrace. Between the hours of 8:30 and 9:30, the sunlight hits the water at a perfect angle and makes the fields look blue. Dali is the cultural center of Yunnan, as it was the capital of the Dali dynasty for hundreds of years. Many poems about the dynasty mentioned its two most distinctive features, the Sea and the Kang Mountain. So of course, the highlight of our stay was biking around the giant Sea and going on hikes through the lush Kang Mountains. We rented bikes and rode casually along the west bank of the Sea for 20 miles. The sun was shining, the breeze was flowing through our hair, and the gulls accompanied us on our adventure. We made many stops at little towns along the way and found plenty of tea houses and restaurants. This quintessential relaxed lifestyle is what attracted many people from China to retire in Dali. The next day we went on a hike in the Kang Mountain where we got a bird's eye view of the Sea and the city. It was a strenuous hike, but the air was fresh and we saw breathtaking waterfalls and jewel-colored clear pools. We did our hike in Dali to prepare us for our next stop, Lijiang, where we planned a trek up an icy mountain that was over 15,000 feet tall. The Yulong Mountain. Okay, we cheated. We didn't actually hike all the way. That would take days. We took a gondola to 14,800 feet and walked up a nicely built staircase for the last 500. But I tell you, the sudden change in elevation wreaked havoc on my body. I felt dizzy and completely out of breath, even though I was huffing and puffing the cans of oxygen every 5 steps. In a hazy mental state, I finally ascended to the top, and it was covered with people. All I could think of was getting back down. At least I didn't look like this girl. At the base of the mountain, we also took a stroll along the Blue Moon Valley, where a series of lakes with water has electric blue color from the high calcium content. We were drawn to our last stop, Shangri-La, for the mythical culture of the Tibetan people here. For that reason, we went to the biggest temple in the area, the Songsanlin Monastery, which is the origin of a sub-branch of Tibetan Buddhism and the cultural center of the region. The branch is famously known as the Yellow Hat Branch, and it's known for their stricter rules following scripture, as it was founded by a monk who was appalled by the corruption he saw in the older branches. This is also a teaching monastery where over 600 practicing monks pray, study, and debate the scripture. The architecture of the temple is so typical Tibetan that it is strongly resembled in the Potala Palace in Lhasa. Unfortunately, pictures inside the monastery are forbidden, so I can only show the outside. One thing that differentiates Tibetan Buddhism from Buddhism in other areas is the permission to eat meat. Given the lack of vegetation in Tibet in the harsh winters, this leniency is quite understandable and necessary. Food was also an amazing experience on the trip. Some of our favorites were our breakfast noodles at Kunming, a meal on a wooden boat in Dali, a peacock meal in Lijiang, and an amazing yak dish in Shangri-La. This trip showed us crazy geography that I have never thought was possible. It satisfied my taste buds with delicious food I never knew existed, and exposed me to amazing culture that I never thought could be so interesting.